Hey guys, Dr. Stephanie here. I'm a physical therapist, and today we're going to go over the 5 best exercises for knee pain. So anyone who has knee pain, this is where I would tell them to start. It's really important if you have knee pain, and it doesn't matter what kind of knee pain, if your knee pain is in the front of your knee, if it's underneath your knee, if it's in the back, maybe it's on top a little bit. These exercises apply to all of those because what's important is strengthening the muscles above and below your knee and working on mobility as well. But these are a great starting point because these muscles right here, the quad muscles, it's a group of 4 muscles and they really support your knee, and it actually is an indicator of whether you're going to have knee pain, how strong this muscle is. So if this muscle is weak, you're more likely to have knee pain or have a knee injury, but if this muscle is strong, you're less likely to have knee pain or a knee injury. So it's really important that you strengthen these quad muscles here, and then it's also important to get into strengthening your hips and strengthening your hamstrings and your calf and working on that mobility as well. But we're going to do these 5 exercises, and this is where I would tell anyone with knee pain to start because these will start building up those quad muscles and just reducing that stress on your knee joint. So the first exercise is very simple. It's just called a quad set. And basically what you're going to do is contract this muscle. So I'm going to show you 2 different ways you can do it because sometimes, even though it's an easy exercise, it can be confusing. So what you want to do is sit like this with your legs out straight. And you can sit on the floor, you can sit on a table, you can sit on a couch or a bed, but I would recommend a firm surface because then you can really tell if you're contracting that muscle. So in this position, and you can do both legs if you want, even if you only have pain on one knee, you can do both. Sometimes it helps just to do both at the same time. So what you want to do is you just want to tighten this quad muscle. Squeeze that muscle, push that knee into the ground. As you can see, my heels kind of come up off the ground because I have a little bit of hyperextension in my knees. You don't have to do that. But you do have to really contract this muscle, and you can see it contracting. So you'll see that muscle tighten. You'll kind of push that knee into the ground, and you just want to hold 2 to 3 seconds and then relax. 2 to 3 seconds and relax. And as you get better at this, and as it gets a little bit easier, you can actually hold for longer, up to 5 to 10 seconds. Just holding that, so we're really strengthening this quad muscle. So the second way to do it is to grab a little towel like this, and you're going to place this under your knee. This kind of helps because it gives you a little bit of feedback. It tells you you're actually doing something. So in this case, you're going to do the exact same thing, but then you're just pushing into the towel. So you're just going to contract this muscle, push that knee down, just push into that towel. You don't want something too big because then that'll keep your knee bent, and you really want to keep your knee straight. But you just want to push into that towel and relax. So again, 2 to 3 seconds, up to 5 to 10 seconds. I would repeat this 20 to 30 times. And again, you can do both legs at the same time, or you can do all on one leg and all on the other leg. But that's a great place to start, and that's actually what we're going to use in all the other exercises, because when you're doing other exercises, even that involve the hip, you want to make sure this quad muscle is contracted. You want to make sure your knee is fully straight when you do those exercises. So what you're going to do is you're going to contract that muscle first and then do the leg lift or whichever exercise you're doing. And we'll go over that as we go over the other exercises. So that's number 1. Number 2, you're going to grab a foam roller. And if you don't have a foam roller, that's totally okay. It's just something that goes under your knees and bends them just a little bit like this. And so you can roll up a towel. I would use a thicker towel than that one we used for the last exercise. You can use a little ball. You can use a pillow, really whatever. But as long as your knees are bent about this much, maybe 30 degrees. So again, you want your legs out straight, knees bent. And so this is called a short arc quad. And again, we're working this quad muscle, but now we're doing some movement. So from this position, you just want to extend your foot and then bring it back down slowly. So extend it, and you want to get this knee fully extended if you can, and bring it back down. Again, you can do both at the same time if you want to, and bring them back down, or you can just do one. But really try to get that full extension there, and then slowly bring it back down. So lift, and slowly back down. The other thing, if you have any ankle weights, if you're just starting out, I would start with no weight. But if you have done this for a little bit, or you find that you do 30 reps of this and it's easy, then you can add an ankle weight around your ankle and then do the same motion. Really focusing on full extension and really focusing on slow. Because a lot of people think, oh, these exercises are super easy, but if you do them slow and controlled and you really work on getting full extension here and bringing your leg down slowly, even me, I don't currently have any knee pain, but it's challenging to do 30 reps of this nice and slow. You're really working those muscles, especially those quads, and you're really getting a benefit out of this. So 1 or 2 at the same time. You want to do 2 to 3 sets of 10. You can do 20 or 30 reps. I like to tell people to rest a little bit in between each 10. I think that helps. Just kind of relax the muscle a little bit and get it ready to contract again. So that's number 2. Now we're going to go on to number 3. For this one, we're going to lie on our back. And this is an exercise that most people have probably done, but don't necessarily associate it with knee pain or knee strengthening. But a bridge is a great exercise for quad strengthening because you're using your quads to lift yourself up off the ground. You're also using your core, which core strength is also important because the stronger your core is, the less stress will be put on your legs. And so what you want to do is lie on your back like this, knees bent, feet on the floor, and you just want to lift your hips up until your body is in a straight line here, and then slowly come back down. So you're going to lift up and slowly back down. And again, you want to do about 2 to 3 sets of 10, and again, slow. So you want to go through the motion slowly. If you go too fast, then you probably won't get the benefit. You'll feel like, oh, that's just easy. It's not doing anything. But if you go nice and slow and you do 30 reps, you'll feel something. And there are ways to make this harder, but this is a great place to start. Just doing 30 reps of bridges, just like this, nice and slow. And make sure you're coming down slow as well. When you come up to, you don't want to lift your hips too high. You want to keep them in line here and then slowly come back down. So that's number 3. Number 4, we're going to stay on our back and you're going to keep one leg bent and straighten the other leg. So typically the leg that's straight, that's the knee that's hurting, but also I would recommend doing this on both sides because it's good to have strong quads and hips on both sides. So we're gonna do a straight leg raise. So for this one, that first exercise we did, the quad set, we're gonna incorporate that. So lying on our back, you want to tighten that quad muscle, do that quad set, push that knee into the ground, pull those toes back towards you, and lift your leg up until it's even with the other knee. And then from here, you're gonna slowly bring it back down and then totally relax. So this one, it's really important to tighten that quad muscle there, pull those toes back, and then lift until it's even. You don't wanna lift too high on this one, and you don't want to not lift high enough. So make sure it's exactly even with the other knee, and then slowly back down, and then totally relax. So it's gonna feel like a lot because you can't just lift up and down as fast as you can. And I think that's where some people find this exercise easy because they do it fast and they don't do it correctly. But if you do it correctly, you are working your hip flexor. You're also working your quad muscle because you're really focusing on tightening that muscle before you lift and during the movement. And if you do it slowly, you'll also feel it as well. So even if you think, oh, that's too easy for me, try doing 2 to 3 sets of 10 where you actively tighten that quad, slowly lift up to the other knee, and slowly bring it back down. And then you'll notice, hey, that's a little bit harder than I thought. This one too, like I talked about on the short arc quad, you can, once that gets easy, you can place an ankle weight around your ankle and do the same movement, just like that. Making sure you're going slow and also making sure you're tightening that quad, pulling those toes back as you lift, and then lower. So for exercise number 5, you're going to lie on your side and straighten both your legs. So you want to make sure your whole body's in line. You don't want your legs too far in front. They can be a little bit more in back, but the real thing is you don't want them too far forward. And then you're going to bend to the bottom knee, just like that, and keep this top leg straight and make sure it's in line, if not a little bit further back from your body. You want to, for this one too, we're gonna tighten this quad muscle, pull those toes up towards our face, and then lift that leg up. And as you can see, when I lift, my leg is back like this. People have a tendency to lift straight here or too far forward. You want to keep it back towards the wall and only lift to about here. You don't want to lift too high. You also don't want to rotate your toes up towards the ceiling. You want to keep them here and then come back down. So just lift slowly and back down and relax. And again, you want to tighten this quad muscle. Then pull your toes back towards you and lift up and then lower and relax. So tighten your quad, pull your toes back, lift and lower. And you want to do 2 to 3 sets of 10. Again, really making sure to tighten that quad muscle, pull those toes back, and keeping that leg kind of back like this towards the wall, or if you're not towards the wall, just making sure it stays in line with your body. That's number 5. I'm going to just make number 5 a little bit more challenging and show you a different way you can do it. So if you have a little loop resistance band, you can place it around your ankles, lie back down on your side, because we're going to do the same exercise we were just doing, except for this time we got to keep both legs straight because of the band. But you want to keep your body in line, legs kind of back a little bit from your body. Pull your toes up towards you. You're going to lift this top leg up and then back down. You want to make sure you do it very nice and slow. So up and down. This is just a variation of the last exercise, which is hip abduction. And you just want to go slow. It just makes it a little more challenging. And again, if you're doing this, 2 to 3 sets of 10. And then I'm going to show you one more variation. I like this variation. It's a little bit different and it works a lot of the hip muscles and quad muscles. And so for this one, you're just going to lift up, bring that leg forward a little bit and bring it backwards a little bit and then back down. So for this one, I would start with 2 sets of 10 and then you can add a third one if you want to, but this one is more challenging. So you just lift up, forward, backward, and then back down. Lift up, forward, backward, and back down. So if I was having knee pain, or if I have a patient that has knee pain, these are the 5 exercises I would start with. And I know, like I said, they may seem easy, but these are really the fundamentals of building quad and building hip strength. And you'll see that when you try them, if you actually do them correctly, they are actually more challenging than they look. So anyone who has any type of knee pain, or if you've had a knee injury, you can start with these and start building up that quad strength, start getting some motion, and really start improving your range of motion, because some people that have knee pain, they have difficulty straightening their knee all the way. So doing these exercises will help with the straightening, will help with the strengthening, and hopefully get rid of your knee pain. It can also prevent knee pain too. So if you want to just start these now because maybe you've had knee pain in the past, or you just want to avoid it in the future, start these now. But these are things I would recommend doing 3 to 5 times a week, and that will help decrease that pain, improve that strength, and hopefully help you feel a lot better. So try those. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below, and you can hit the subscribe button, and I'm gonna go through a lot of videos that help with pain, help with mobility and strength, and hopefully keep you doing all of the activities you love for life.